Lately, I've noticed the true benefit of doing these blocking exercises, which is basically just mapping out the simple geometric shapes before adding any details. And I know it sounds like such an easy concept, but actually doing it correctly, it's way harder than it seems. And it's also a great warm-up before starting to paint. I'm always scrolling on Pinterest for inspiration, and when I saw this beautiful reference, I knew I had to paint it. I love paintings when there's something draping or hanging off the canvas, like in this case, the skin of the orange. I started with a wash of colors and slowly building from there. At this stage, I was mainly working with Camsol and making the paint less and less diluted as I was going forward. This was the first layer, so now I'm gonna wait for it to dry and we'll continue the next day. So now, the second and final layer of this painting. I started with doing some premixes of colors before starting to paint. I've been doing this lately in my painting process and it's just been so very helpful. I've heard multiple artists say how important it is to spend more time on your palette rather than your canvas. And I see a difference. Doing these color strings makes my work feel more organized, and I feel like I have a better control over my values and my hues. And painting this was so much fun. I really appreciate a lot still life paintings. It's like a nice reminder how even the smallest subjects hold an entire universe of color and details. Since I started painting, I began to see more details, more colors. And a year ago, I would have been, okay, it's just an orange, who cares? But now I notice more. I see those little variation in colors of those white stringy things, those little folds, and how it catches light. So yeah, I think I owe a lot of things to this beautiful art of painting. Have I ever painted a rose before? No, never. Because I'm scared of painting flowers, because I know how hard and intricate and difficult of a subject they are. But after the museum trip, I had to try. Flower paintings are and will always be my favorite. When I don't feel motivated to practice, I always think about this scenario with me going to a flower shop and making a gorgeous flower arrangement and then coming home and painting it. So yeah, hopefully one day soon. My approach was a bit too tight and the whole painting process felt like I was diffusing a bomb. And this is just not the way to show the freshness and beauty of a flower, or at least not in my preferred style. I reminded myself I recently read about transparency and how to show that in a painting. And I was also trying to observe how other artists do this. It was perhaps a bit too late for my rose to emulate that transparency and looseness, but nonetheless, I wanted to continue and at least bring it to a finished stage. At least it would serve as a reference on where I began with painting flowers. Lesson learned, and now I wanted to begin again and try the opposite of what I did with the other painting. Instead of focusing on each petal, I wanted to approach this in a very broad, expressive manner. Very loose brush strokes to the point where I was counting them so I won't overwork any area. So yeah, a very strict approach this time. I did not want it for my brush to touch the canvas without a proper target in mind. Jimena Agra has this exact reference on her Patreon, so it was very useful to see an artist paint this. It just made the process easier for me and just a bit clear on what should I focus on. It was a fun exercise to do. I think I will limit my brush strokes on many paintings from now on. So yeah, this was the final result. I had to force myself to stop painting because I would much rather have it underworked than overworked again.